A tragic incident shook the atmosphere at Jones's sawmill in Minneapolis, unfolding with devastating consequences for a man named Willoughby. Engaged in the task of adjusting a belt onto a pulley, he faced a harrowing fate. What remained after the incident were solely his limbs and arms. Earlier that morning, Willoughby had twice ventured to set the large belt in motion that powered the shingle machine onto a pulley. The first attempt halted the wheel as intended, yet despite being cautioned against it, he endeavored to manipulate the belt while the machinery continued its motion. Placing one foot on a substantial cross-timber near a swiftly rotating heavy iron flywheel, an unfortunate slip occurred, ensnaring his foot within the spokes of the flywheel. In an instant, a horrifying sequence of events unfolded. Willoughby was swiftly and violently spun around, colliding with beams, timbers, and even a sturdy 2-inch plank, which splintered into pieces. The impact scattered blood and fragments in every direction, inflicting severe damage on his body. His head and limbs suffered unimaginable injuries, with his head forcibly detached from his neck and thrown 15 feet across the floor. Meanwhile, his mutilated body and shattered limbs plunged into the water below, cascading under the platform and over the falls. Save for one arm, the remains were eventually collected from the tumultuous waters and taken to Jones & Co.'s office. The sight that awaited was utterly distressing, presenting a profoundly disturbing testament to the sheer devastation of the incident. In Napavine, Bruno Holt, a diligent German worker at the Newaukum Mill Company, faced a tragic turn of events when a routine day turned into a nightmare. A slab, propelled by unforeseen force, collided with Bruno, hurling him off balance and into the path of a cut-off saw. The blade, unforgiving in its power, inflicted a grievous wound, tearing through Bruno's abdomen, laying bare the delicate intricacies of his intestines. The severity of the gash was such that it left some of the vital organs severed, a devastating blow that would alter the course of Bruno's life in the most tragic of ways. For 3 grueling days, Bruno fought for his life, his father in Berlin, Germany, receiving the distressing news from afar. Alone in Napavine and seemingly without close relatives nearby, Bruno's life hung in the balance. His recent arrival from Tacoma added a poignant layer to the tragedy, marking the start of a chapter that concluded in unforeseen sorrow. Mr. V. Dykus, a 20-year-old son of W. Dykus, tragically lost his life in a sawmill mishap near Lockwood. While sawing slabs on Monday, an old blade he'd inserted into the saw fragmented, causing a piece to strike his throat, severing the jugular vein. Additionally, other fragments hit him in the head. A fellow worker managed to grasp the torn vein ends, reducing blood loss for about an hour and a half until a doctor arrived to stitch the wound. Unfortunately, Vern remained unconscious and passed away early the following morning. Schweitzer, a 22-year-old residing near Penryn, faced a harrowing incident that might rob him of sight in his right eye. While working alongside Jer Whitmire in the woodcutting operation at John Griner's premises here, an unforeseen mishap occurred. The power saw snagged a piece of wood, violently propelling it into the orbit behind Schweitzer's eyeball, penetrating to a depth of 2.5 inches. The excruciating pain he endured was evident as Dr. Beamsdorfer from Mannheim rushed to the scene. In a race against time, the doctor provided initial treatment, extracting 2 splinters, 2.5 inches long and 3/8 of an inch thick, which he managed to remove manually. While the other required delicate forceps, Schweitzer was swiftly transported via automobile, accompanied by the doctor, to the General Hospital in Lancaster. Despite the immediate care, the full extent of his injuries and the consequential impact on his vision remained uncertain. A tragic incident befell W.H. Plunkett, a respected farmer residing 3 miles southeast of town, leading to his untimely demise on a fateful Tuesday afternoon. The grim turn of events unfolded due to a sawmill mishap, details of which remained elusive at the time this report was compiled, as per the Butler demonstrator. The unfortunate accident occurred during a wood sawing operation on the Nestler Road farm, located approximately 4 miles southeast of Butler. Amidst this routine task, tragedy struck swiftly. Reports indicate that Mr. Plunkett suffered a fatal injury, with the fast-spinning circular saw tragically causing severe damage, nearly cleaving his head in two. At around 60 years of age, Mr. Plunkett's life was abruptly cut short, in a moment of unsuspecting routine work. The specifics surrounding this distressing incident remained unclear.